Theater is pleased to be part of the Blueberry Festival. And speaking of the Blueberry Festival, what do you think of my shirt? Where are all the blueberries? You just wait. Just you wait. My job as narrator is to help out along with the cast here tonight and just give you a few details of the story as we go along. The three great Gilbert and Sullivan comic operettas that we're going to be presenting here for you this evening. I have a bit of the story here. I have a little book, and we'll be presenting some of the story as we go along. So some of those Gilbert and Sullivan stories can get pretty complicated. And if you'd like to hum along, by the way, and sort of tap your feet and join in the chorus, well, that's okay, too. And what's this over here? Can I have a little more of the curtain, please? Bring the curtain. Now, are these Sudbury blueberries? I told you so. And look at this. If I'm not mistaken, this is very much similar to the hat that I wore in Gilbert and Sullivan's HMS Pinafore. Well, maybe my head's swollen a bit since then. How's it look? Brings back those memories, let me tell you. And it's almost like I can hear the chorus right now. Listen. hope you're all quite well.
Quite well, thank you, sir.
I'm in reasonable health, and happy to see you all once more.
You do us proud, sir.
I am the captain of the Pinafore.
And I'm the captain, too.
You're very, very good, and be it understood, I command our right good crew.
You're very, very good, and be it understood, he commands our right good crew.
Related to appear, I can hand me most dear, or ship or sail or gee. I am never known to quail at the fury of a gale, and I never, never sink at sea.
Was never,
No, never.
was never,
Well, hardly ever.
hardly ever sick at sea. And give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the hardy captain of the Pinafore. And give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the captain of the Pinafore.
I do my best to satisfy you all.
And the two we are quite content.
You're exceedingly polite, and I think it's only right to return our compliment.
We're exceedingly polite, and he thinks it only right to return the compliment.
Bad language or abuse I never, never use, whatever the emergency. Though bother it, I may occasionally say, I never used the big, big D.
Was never,
No, never.
was never,
Well, hardly ever.
hardly ever swears a big, big thing. And give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the well-bred captain of the Pinafore. And give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the captain of the Pinafore.
And now let's turn to our story. And what a sad, sad, sad story it was, too. Poor Rafe Rexstraw fell madly, hopelessly, passionately in love with the beautiful Josephine. And of course, we all know who Josephine? Josephine, the captain's daughter. But Rafe was only a common sailor and could not even think of such a marriage. After all, the captain's daughter. And dear sweet Josephine, how she loved Rafe, but he was beneath her rank.
Sorry her lot who loves too well. Maybe the heart that hopes but faintly, sad of sight that only
You see, Josephine's father, Captain Corcoran, has decided that she should marry Sir Joseph. And she knew that Sir Joseph was a remarkable fine fellow because he told her so himself. But he was old, and he was stuffy, and he was fat, but he was oh so rich. And also, of course, she must marry nobly because, after all, she is the captain's daughter. Oh, listen, I think I hear Sir Joseph and his company and a few of his relatives boarding ship now.
To an attorney's firm. I cleaned the windows and I swept the floor. I polished up the handle on the big front door.
He polished up the handle on the big front door.
I polished up the handle so carefully that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He polished up the handle so carefully that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
As office boy I made such a mark that they gave me the post of a junior clerk. I served the writs with a smile so bland, and I copied all the letters in a big round hand.
He copied all the letters in a big round hand.
I copied all the letters in a hand so free that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He copied all the letters in a hand so free that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
In serving the writs I made such a name that an articled clerk I soon became. I wore clean collars and a brand new suit for the pass examination at the Institute.
For the pass examination at the Institute.
That pass examination did so well for me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
That pass examination did so well for me that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Of legal knowledge I acquired such a grip that they took me into the partnership. And that junior partnership, I ween, was the only ship that I ever had seen.
Was the only ship he ever had seen.
But that kind of ship so suited me that now I am the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
But that kind of ship so suited me that now he is the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
I grew so rich that I was sent by a pocket borough into Parliament. I always voted at my party's call. I never thought of thinking for myself at all.
He never thought of thinking for himself at all.
I thought so little, they rewarded me by making me the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
He thought so little they rewarded him by making him the ruler of the Queen's Navy.
Now, landsmen all, whoever you may be, if you want to rise to the top of the tree, if your soul is fettered to an office stool, be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Be careful to be guided by this golden rule.
Stick close to your desks and never go to sea. And you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Stick close to your desk and never go to sea, and you all may be rulers of the Queen's Navy.
Proud lady, have your way. You speak and I obey. My heart with anguish trembles down before her. She laughs my love to scorn, yet I adore her. My heart with anguish trembles down before her. She laughs my love to scorn, yet I adore her.
Queen of days star, your secret crazy.
Proud lady, have your way, unfailing beauty.
My heart, my rank to scorn, in union holy. When his mind to scorn,
By the way, you'll find that Rafe looks an awful lot like Captain Corcoran, and that's because we're just a tad short of tenors in Sudbury. Is there any tenors in the audience? The captain is quite disturbed to think that his daughter loves a common sailor, but worse than that, what possibly will he tell Sir Joseph?
Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens. Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? I have lived hitherto free from the threat of slander. We love well my crew, a really popular commander. But now my kindly crew rebels. My daughter to a tar is partial. Sir Joseph storms, and sad to tell, he threatens a court-martial. Fair moon, to thee I sing, bright regent of the heavens. Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens? Say, why is everything either at sixes or at sevens?
hung with ancestral armor and old brasses, carved oak and tapestry from distant Rome, rare blue and white Venetian finger glasses, rich oriental rugs, luxurious sofa pillows, and everything that isn't old from Gilbert's. And on the other, a dark and dingy room in some back street with stuffy children crying, where organs yelling, clacking, housewives spewing, clothes are hanging out all day and drying, with one cracked looking glass to see your face in, and dinner served up in a pudding basin. A simple Sullivan, unlettered and unknown, who toils for bread from everyone, till half the night has flown, till half the night has flown. No golden rank in his heart, no wealth of house or land, no fortune save his trusty heart, and that is proud right hand, his trusty heart, and proud right hand. And yet he is so wondrous fair, that love for one so blessing rare, so peerless in his manly beauty, where little else than solemn duty, where little less than a solemn duty. O God of love and God of reason, which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? A simple sailor, unlettered and unknown, no golden rank can he impart, no wealth of house or land, no fortune save his trusty heart, and on his proud right hand his trusty heart, and right hand, God of love and God of reason, say which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? God of love, God of reason, God of reason, God of love, say which shall my poor heart obey? O God of love and God of reason, say, O God of love and God of reason, say, which of you twain shall my poor heart obey? My heart obey. Which shall my heart obey?
Never mind the why and wherefore, luck and there, what ranks and therefore, though his lordship stations mighty, though stupendous be his reign, though her taste and mean and mighty, and her fortune good and clean. Ring merry bells of lordship, ring, yeah, with warning while for the union of my lordship, with a humble captain's child, a humble captain's child,
Alan Captain's daughter,
and the lord who rules the water.
and the tall who crowds the water. Glad the earth with joy belated, with the songs the air above, for the union all believing with the man of
Never mind the why and wherefore, luck and there, what ranks and therefore, though your nautical relations in my secret scarcely pass, though you occupy a station in the lower middle class.
Ring merry bells of lordship, ring, yeah, with warning while for the union of my lordship, with a humble captain's child, and a humble captain's daughter.
For a gallant captain's daughter,
And the Lord who rules the water.
and the tall who crowds the water.
Let the earth
with joy be laden, reckless of the care above, for the Union of a maiden with the
Never mind the why and wherefore, luck and there, right and therefore I am in the jurisdiction. Baby, have you played your part? You have carried my perfection to my hesitating heart.
Ring the merry bells on board ship, ring the air with warbling wild, for the Union of High Lordship with a humble captain's child, for a humble captain's daughter.
For a gallant captain's daughter,
Lord who rules the water.
and the tongue of the water. Let the air with joy be laden,
Ring the merry bells on board ship,
for the Union of a maiden.
for the Union with High Lordship. Ring the songs the air above, for the man who wants her love. Ring the songs the air above, for the man who
Kind Captain, I've important information. Sing hey, the kind commander that you are. About a certain intimate relation. Sing hey, the merry maiden and the tar. The merry maiden, the merry maiden, the maiden and the tar. Good fellow, in conundrums you are speaking. Sing hey, the mystic sailor that you are. The answer to them vainly I am seeking. Sing hey, the merry maiden and the tar. The merry maiden, the merry maiden, the maiden and the tar. Kind Captain, your young lady is a sighing. Sing hey, the simple captain that you are. This very night with Raksha to be flying. Sing hey, the merry maiden and the tar. The merry maiden, the merry maiden, the maiden and the tar. Good fellow, you have given timely warning. Sing hey, the thoughtful sailor that you are. I'll talk to Master Backstra in the morning. Sing hey, the captain nine tails and the tar. The merry captain nine tails, the merry captain nine tails, the merry captain nine tails and the tar.
Well, there definitely could be trouble afoot, but joy, oh bliss, as in every Gilbert and Sullivan comic operetta, it always ends in a happy note. How does it happen this time? Well, Buttercup, remember Buttercup, lets out the secret that many years ago she was a nurse and mistakenly mixed up two babies. Now guess who those babies were? Of course. They were Rafe and Captain Corcoran. Therefore, Rafe is of noble birth and Captain Corcoran is a commoner. So all will be married and live happily ever after. Now, how's that for a different ending?
Captain of the Pinafore,
and a right good captain too.
And though before me fall, I was captain of you all, and the men member of the crew.
And though before his fall he was captain of us all, he's a member of the crew.
I shall marry with a wife in the humble rank of life, and you, my own, are she. I shall wander to and fro, but wherever I might go, I shall never be untrue to thee.
What's never?
No, never.
What's never?
Well, hardly ever.
I will never be untrue to thee.
Dear preachers and watcher more for captain of the Pinafore. The dear preachers and watcher more for captain of the Pinafore. For he loves little Buttercup, dear little Buttercup, though I could never tell why. But still he loves Buttercup, poor little Buttercup, sweet little Buttercup, I.
For he loves little Buttercup, dear little Buttercup, though I could never tell why. But still he loves Buttercup, dear little Buttercup, sweet little Buttercup, I.
I'm the monarch of the sea, and when I've married thee, I'll be true to the devotion that my love implants.
Goodbye to your sisters and your cousins and your aunts, especially your cousins whom we reckon up by dozens.
And goodbye to my sisters and my cousins and my aunts, especially your cousins and your reckon up by dozens and your aunts. For he is an Englishman, for he himself has said it, and his praise is to his credit, that he is an Englishman, that he is
My job is to come out here now and well, sort of entertain you for about 1.5 minutes while we do just a bit of costume change, because now the classical part of the program is coming. Yes, we're going to have a bit of Italian opera with our own Cheryl Cherry and John Medina. But before that, just going back to Gilbert and Sullivan, and sort of a rough analogy, if you will, over 110 years ago, these two gentlemen, Gilbert and Sullivan, came on the scene and literally rocked the entire English-speaking musical world. Up until that time, of course, everyone did enjoy the classical opera, but it was rather sad, it was rather stuffy, it was rather silly. Now, Gilbert and Sullivan was also rather silly, but it certainly wasn't stuffy, and it was a whole lot of fun. I guess a rough comparison would be comparing, well, to our own age, maybe we could compare Gilbert and Sullivan somewhat to the Beatles. The same country, would you believe? Let me give you an example. Previous to Gilbert and Sullivan, operas might play for 1 or 2 performances. When HMS Pinafore came on the scene over 110 years ago, it went on the stage and played for 700 straight performances. And now, everywhere in the world, practically on any night, Gilbert and Sullivan will be on stage, and we're more than happy to carry on that tradition here as part of the Blueberry Festival tonight in Sudbury. And now, let's talk about our 2 performers. We mentioned opera. Opera is grand. Opera is glorious, and you're going to hear 2 fine examples tonight of course, Italian opera, where many believe it all began, and still continues, of course, to be very much loved. John Medina and Cheryl Cherry, who both call Sudbury their home, although they are traveling afar these days, and we're happy to have them back in Sudbury. Both have studied extensively, and I know you're going to enjoy their performances. So, are we ready? John? John Medina, ladies and gentlemen.
What I'm basically doing is telling Elvira, who loves Don Giovanni, all about Don Giovanni and who he really is, and how he has women all over the world, and especially in Spain. He loves fat ones, tall ones, short ones, skinny ones, old ones, young ones, any kind. As long as they wear a skirt, that's what counts.
Maravina, il catallo è questo, delle belle che mio padro mio, il catallo è vecchio cattivo, osservate, leggete com'è, osservate, leggete com'è. In Italia 640, in Almania 231, 100 in Francia, Turchia 91, ma in Spagna son già 1300, 1300, 1300. Tra queste contadine, camerieri cittadine, valcantesse veronese, marchesini, principessa, e bandoni, doni grado, doni forma, doni età, doni e forma, doni e età. In Italia 640, e in Almania 231, 100 in Francia, in Turchia 91, ma in Spagna son già 1300, 1300. 1300, ma che queste contadine, camerieri cittadine, ma che testa veronese, ma che sei principessa, e ma doni grado, doni forma, doni età, doni forma, doni età, doni forma, doni età. Nella bionda e la luzzanza di lodala la gentilezza, nella bruna la costanza, nella bianca la dolcezza. Vuol d'inverno la grassotta, vuol d'estate la magrotta, e la grande maestosa, e la grande maestosa. La piccina, 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 la piccina. Jenior verzoza, jenior verzoza, jenior verzoza. Delle vecchie conquista el piacer di porle in lista, so passion predominante e la giovin principiante. Non si picca se sia ricca, se sia brutta, se sia bella, se sia ricca, brutta, se sia bella. Perché porti la gonella, voi sapete quel che fa, voi sapete quel che fa, perché porti la gonella, voi sapete quel che fa, voi sapete quel che fa, quel che fa.
I would like to sing an Italian love song from the opera La Traviata entitled Sempre Libera.
Soli
greatest of the Gilbert and Sullivan comic operettas, the Mikado. We travel now to Toyota Land. You may think that's silly. For those of you who know the Mikado, you'll be familiar with the story. For those of you who aren't, I'm here to provide a few of the details. The Mikado is known otherwise as the town of Titipu. And if you think that's silly, listen to some of the characters that inhabit that town. Our star-studded cast include Nanki Poo. Now, Nanki Poo is a wandering minstrel who comes to Titipu looking for Yum Yum. Now, Yum Yum, as we all know, is a very beautiful young lady. And Nanki Poo would like to marry Yum Yum. However, the gentlemen of Japan inform Nanki Poo that Yum Yum is already engaged to marry Koko. And Koko is the Lord High Executioner. Oh, and by the way, Nanki Poo is warned not to flirt with Yum Yum because Japanese law says that anyone who flirts must be beheaded. Let's join our story.
A great Mikado, virtuous man, when he to rule our land began, resolved to try a plan whereby young men might best be studied. So he decreed in words succinct that all who flirted near the wing, unless canoe be alley, they should forthwith be beheaded, 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 should forthwith be beheaded. And I expect you'll all agree that he was right to so decree. And I am right and you are right and all is right as right can be. You are right and we are right and all is right as right can be. And all is right as right can be. Right as right can be. The stern decree you'll understand caused great dismay through all the land, for young and old and shy and bold were equally affected. The youth who winked the roving eye of reason on connubial side was thereupon condemned to die. He usually objected, he usually objected. And you'll allow, as I expect, that he was right to so object. And I am right and you are right and everything is quite correct. You are right and we are right and everything is quite correct. And everything is quite correct. All is quite correct. And so we straight let out on bail a convict from the county jail, whose head was next on some pretext condemned to be mown off, and made him headsman, for we said, who's next to be decapitated, cannot cut off another's head until he's cut his own off, his own off, his own off, until he's cut his own off. And we are right, I think you'll say, to argue in this kind of way. And I am right and you are right and all is right to lurale. You are right and we are right and all is right to lurale. And I am right and you are right and all is right. Young man, despair likewise go to. Young, the fair you must not do. It will not do, I'm sorry for you, you very imperfect ablutioner. This very day from school, young will went away and homeward come, with the beat of rum and a rum to run to wed the Lord High Executioner. And the brass
trumpets play, and they'll cut the dash on their wedding day. They'll toddle away as over with the Lord High Executioner. And the bells will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut the dash on their wedding day. They'll toddle away as over with the Lord High Executioner. It's a hopeless case, as you may see, and in your place away I flee. But don't blame me, I'm sorry to be of your pleasure a diminutioner. They'll vow the pact extremely soon. In point of fact, this afternoon, her honeymoon with that buffoon at 7 commends their sole use on her. And the brass will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. They'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner. And the bells will crash, and the trumpets play, and they'll cut a dash on their wedding day. They'll toddle away as all of her with the Lord High Executioner.
Well, Coco must now get his wedding celebrations underway, and so he asks Pooh Bah, who will pay? And Pooh Bah, after all, is First Lord of the Treasury.
Oh.
Also, Lord Chamberlain.
Oh.
Attorney General.
Oh.
Chancellor of the Exchequer.
Oh.
Minnow Lake Restoration Chairman. Privy Purse.
Oh.
Regional Chairman. Private Secretary.
Oh.
Coordinator of the World Junior Games Cookie Sale. And a skateboard champion. And Lord High everything else. And with all of these positions, Pooh Bah holds some weight, and he tells Coco the taxpayers will pay for the wedding. Who else? And Coco now comes up with a list of possible execution victims to satisfy his position.
Someday it may happen that a victim must be found. I've got a little list of society offenders who might well be underground and who never would be missed. They never would be missed. There's the pestilential nuisances who write for autographs of people who have flabby hands and irritating laughs. All children who are up on tapes and floor you with them flat. All people who on shaking hands shake hands with you like that. And all those persons who on spoiling tete-a-tete. That none of them be missed, that none of them be missed.
He's got them on the list, he's got them on the list, and the none of them be missed, there'll none of them be missed.
There's the sidewalk serenaders and the others of his race, and the lady soloist, I've got you on the list. And all people drink peppermint and puff it in your face. They never would be missed, they never would be missed. There's the Canadian who praises with enthusiastic tone all centuries but this, and every country but his own. And the lady from the provinces who dresses like a guy, and who doesn't want the leading role, but would rather like to try. And the audience who's sitting there can barely crack a smile. I don't think you'd be missed, There's none of you.
He's got you on the leg, and there'll none of you be missed. There'll none of you be missed.
There's the local politician who will teach you white from one. And the lady motorist, I've got her on the list. Martell's, Marlowe's, Rodriguez's, Campbell's, Logren's too. They never would be missed. They never would be missed. And the fellow with the chin, you know, Mulroney is his name. And the other two they're letting go, they're really just the same. And what's his name? Oh, Joe, you know who. Well, the task of filling up the blanks I'd rather leave to you. And it doesn't really matter whom you put upon the list. There'd none of them be missed. There'd none of them be missed.
You may put them on the list, you may put them on the list, and there'll none of them be missed. There'll none of them be missed.
And now it's time for us to meet the delicious Yum Yum, who arrives with friends. And, of course, she discovers that Nanki Poo has come to town and falls madly, hopelessly, passionately, sounds familiar, doesn't it, in love with Nanki Poo. And also we'll hear the girls tease Pooh Bah. Pooh Bah, of course, hates young persons. So, continuing our story, at this point there are just a few problems in Titty Poo. Nanky Poo and Yum Yum are in love in vain because she must marry Coco, the old goat. And Coco must behead someone, or the Mikado will reduce Titty Poo from a city to a mere regional municipality. Coco tries to convince Pooh-Bah to be his victim.
I am so proud if I allowed my family pride to be my guide. I volunteer to win this sphere instead of you in a minute or two. But family pride must be denied and set aside and mortified and mortified.
My brilliant teams with endless schemes, both good and new, for Titty Poo, but if I split the benefit that I give you, the town would lose. Now every man to aid his clan should plot and plan as best he can. I heard one day a gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal feel, and so are slain without much pain. If this is true, it's jolly for you, your courage through 2 minutes I do. I'm reading cheese. I heard with the gentleman say that criminals who are cut in two can hardly feel the fatal feel, and so are slain without much pain. If now every time of year your courage through 2 minutes and so, although I'm ready to go, yet recollect were disrespected, I neglect to thus defect this indirect, so I object.
And so, although I wish to go, and place in mind to brightly shine and take the line of a hero line that we condign, I must decline. And go and show the friend and foe how much you dare and quite aware. It's your affair, yet I declare I take your share, but I don't much care. I take your share, but I don't. I take your share, but I don't. I take your share, but I don't. Much care, I don't much care, I don't much care. To sit on the planet in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shot from a chippy cover on a big black box. To sit on a planet in a dull dark dock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock, awaiting the sensation of a short sharp shot from a chippy cover on a big black box. A dull dark dock, a lifelong lock, a short sharp shot, a big black box. To sit on a planet in a pestilential prison with awaiting the sensation of a chippy cover on a big black box. Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shot from a chippy chop on a big black box. To sit on a silent in a dull dark rock in a pestilential prison with a lifelong lock. Awaiting the sensation of a short, sharp shot from a chippy chop on a big black box. A dull dark rock, a lifelong lock, a short, a big black box. To sit on a silent in a pestilential prison and awaiting the sensation of a chippy chop from a big black.
Well, being a chicken, Coco decides to take Nanky Poo up on his offer. Nanky Poo was going to commit suicide because he couldn't have Yum Yum. So he makes a deal with Coco. Give me Yum Yum's hand in marriage for 1 month and behead me when the month is over. Then you can have Yum Yum back and also save Titty Poo. Well, although happy to be finally marrying her Nanky Poo, Yum Yum discovers that in Japan, when a man is beheaded, his wife is buried alive. What a mess!
Here's how they do. Here's how they do.
Here's a pretty mess in the month or less. I was born without a wedding, but the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, to her like she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, very all it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things. With a passion that's intense, I worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If once the day is through, tis time to marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty state of things.
Here's how they do.
For if what I say is true, she cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
Here's how they do. If I marry you, when your time has come to perish, then the baby whom you cherish must be slaughtered too. Here's how they do. Here's how they do.
Here's a pretty mess in a month or less. I was die without a wedding, but the bitter tears I'm shedding witness my distress. Here's a pretty mess. Here's a pretty mess.
Here's a state of things, to her like she clings. Matrimonial devotion doesn't seem to suit her notion, very ill it brings. Here's a state of things, here's a state of things. With the passion that's intense, I worship and adore, but the laws of common sense we ought to ignore. If while the day is through, she's left with marry you. Here's a pretty state of things, here's a pretty howdy do. Here's a pretty state of things, a pretty howdy thing.
Here's how they do.
Here's a howdy-do. For if what they say is true, she cannot marry you. Here's a pretty, pretty state of things. Here's a pretty howdy-do.
Well, here is the state of things. Coco decides that he still can't behead anyone, even if he takes a course on decapitation at Cambrian College. So he tells Yum Yum to forget him and escape with Nanky Poo forever. He tells the Mikado, when the Mikado arrives in town, that he has beheaded a man named Nanky Poo and produces a phony death certificate. Now the Mikado announces that he's in town and he's looking for his son, whose name is, you're right, Nanky Poo. Oh. Coco, frantic because he's just claimed that he beheaded the Mikado's son, gives a typical Sudbury politician's explanation and satisfies the Mikado. And all ends in festivities. And Yum Yum is, of course, a happy, happy bride.
The sun whose rays are all ablaze with ever-living glory does not deny his majesty.
Golly. I always wanted to be a pirate. That's about as close as I'll ever get, I guess. See, I have this problem with seasickness. But in any event, let's put on the hat and introduce one of the most famous of the Gilbert and Sullivan operettas. Of course, The Pirate of Penzance. And right now, I think I hear Frederick and the King coming in. Listen.
Pirate king, for I am a pirate king.
Hurrah for the Pirate King! When I sally forth to seek my prey, I help myself in a royal way. I think a few more ships, it's true, that a well-bred monarch ought to do. But many a king on a first-class throne, if he wants to call his crown his own, must manage somehow to get through more dirty work than ever I do. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. For I am a pirate king, and it is a glorious thing to be a pirate king. Hurrah for the pirate king! Arr!
Well, let's get to our story now. Frederick is also doomed to marry an old crow. Stories sound familiar somewhat after a while, don't they? He's doomed to marry Ruth, his nurse. Now, she's the only woman that he's ever seen, and she tells him that she's beautiful, of course. How's he to know? However, a bevy of beautiful maidens appears, and he soon changes his mind.
Oh, false one, you have deceived me.
I have deceived you.
Yes, deceived me. You told me you were fair as gold,
And master, am I not so?
and now I see you're plain and old.
I'm sure I'm not a jostle.
Upon my innocence you play.
I'm not the one to plot so.
Your face is lined, your hair is gray.
It's gradually got so.
Faithless woman to deceive me, I will trust it so.
Master, master, do not leave me here. Here you go.
Faithless woman,
Master, master,
faithless woman,
master, master, do not leave me here. Here you go.
is there not one maiden there which does not feel the moral beauty of making worldly interest subordinate to sense of duty? Who would not give up willingly all matrimonial ambition to rescue such a one as I from his unfortunate position, from his position, to rescue
Well, as always, some stuffy politician arrives on the scene in Gilbert and Sullivan. Just can't seem to avoid it. This time it's Major General Stanley, and he's father of the girls. And he comes on the scene to warn the pirates, of course, that they must not marry any of his daughters. And, of course, also to describe some of his many talents as well.
I am the very model of a modern Major General. I'm information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England and they quote the fight historical. From Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. I am very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both the simple and quadratical. About binomial theorem I'm teeming with a lot of news. Thank you. With many cheerful facts about the spread of the hypotenuse.
With many cheerful facts about the spread of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the spread of the hypotenuse. With many cheerful facts about the spread of the hypotenuse.
I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings and animalculus. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern Major General.
In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern Major General.
I know a mythic history, King Arthur's and Sir Caradox. I answer hard acrostics, I've a pretty taste for paradox. I quote in elegiacs or the crimes of Heliogabalus. In comics I can flaunt peculiarities marvelous. I can tell undoubted Raphaels from Gerard Dowson's Sophonies. I know the croaking chorus from the frogs of Aristophanes. And I can have a tune of which I've heard the music's dinner for. Mabel. Okay. And whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense Pinafore.
Whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense Pinafore. Whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense Pinafore. Whistle all the years from that infernal nonsense Pinafore.
Then I can write a washing bill in Babylonic uniform and tell you every detail of Caractacus' uniform. In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, I am the very model of a modern Major General.
In short, in matters vegetable, animal, and mineral, he is the very model of a modern Major General.
In fact, when I know what is meant by mamelon and ravelin, when I can tell at sight a Mauser rifle from a javelin, when such affairs as sorties and surprises I'm more wary at, and when I know precisely what is meant by commissariat, when I have learnt what progress has been made in modern gunnery, when I know more of tactics than a novice in a nunnery, in short, when I was smattering of elemental strategy. Strategy. I've got it. You'd say a better Major General than never strategy.
You say a better Major General than never strategy. You say a better Major General than never strategy. You say a better Major General than never strategy.
For my military knowledge, so I'm plucky and adventuring. It's only been brought down with the beginning of the century. It's still in my vegetable, animal, and mineral. I am the very model of a modern Major General.
It's still in my vegetable, animal, and mineral. He is the very model of a modern Major General.
Well, now things become rather complicated. Ruth and the Pirate King have come up with a paradox that will slow down the marriage of Mabel and Frederick. A paradox.
When you had left your pirate ball, we tried to raise our spirits faint, according to our custom, all the quick and civil quaint. But all in vain the quick we heard, we lay float upon the rocks, until to somebody else said a startling paradox.
A paradox, the most ingenious paradox. We fixed and we looked good and watched what meant to be this paradox. pranks and contradictions queer, and with the laughter on our lips we'd wish you there to hear. We said if we could tell it him, how Frederick would the joke enjoy. And so we risked both life and limb to tell it to our boys. A paradox, the most ingenious paradox. We fix the fables and flux, but yet to beat this paradox. A paradox, the most ingenious paradox. For some ridiculous reason to which, however, I have no desire to be disloyal, some person in authority, who, I don't know who, very likely the astronomer royal, has decided that although for such a beastly month as February, 28 days as a rule are plenty, 1 year and every 4 his days should be reckoned as 9 and 20. Through some singular coincidence, I shouldn't be surprised if it were owing to the agency of an ill-natured fairy. You are the victim of this clumsy arrangement, have been born in February on the 28th of February. And so, by a simple arithmetical process, you'll easily discover that though you live 21 years, yet if we go by birthdays, you're only 5 and a little bit over. Let's see. Yes, with yours my figures do agree. How quaint the ways of paradox, at common sense she gave him off. Though counting in the usual way, years 21 I've been alive. Yet reckoning by my natal days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am a little boy of 5. He's a little boy of 5. A paradox, the most ingenious paradox.
They have no legal claim, no shadow of a
last I leave thee here in lonely night to dream, where all is dark and drear, and the sorrow all supreme. When nature day by day will sing in altered tones this very long delay, before he is gone. La 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 la, la la la. He loves thee, he is gone. La In 1940 I of age shall be, I'll then return and claim you, I declare it.
It seems so long.
Swear that by then you will be true to me.
Yes, I'll be strong. By all the sky he's getting on, I swear it.
It is one and it is true,
And there is full of joy and laughter, we will be near to be soon, to be away on his laughter.
of it is not, of it is true.
When the foreman bears his steel, tarantara, tarantara, we in comfortable feel, tarantara. And we find the wisest thing, tarantara, tarantara, is to slap our chest and sing, tarantara. For when threatened with the news, tarantara, tarantara, and your heart is in your boots, tarantara. There is nothing brings it round like the trumpet's martial sound, like the trumpet's martial sound. Though to us it's evident, tarantara, tarantara, these expressions are well meant, tarantara. Such expressions don't appear, tarantara, tarantara, calculated meant to cheer, tarantara. Who are going to meet their fate in a highly nervous state, tarantara, tarantara, tarantara. Still to us it's evident, these attentions are well meant, tarantara, tarantara, tarantara.
Go and do your best endeavor, and before all things is sever, we will say farewell forever. Go to glory and to grace. Go to glory and to grace. Though your foes are fierce and rough as souls and merciful, and truth is young and tender, all the truth is all in vain and earth is green.
We observe to greater stress on the risks that on us press, and the reference a lack to a chance of coming back. Still, perhaps it would be wise not to cause for criticize, for it's very evident these attentions are well meant.
Yes, it's very evident, these attentions are well meant. Evident, yes, well meant, evident.
Ah, yes, well meant. When the foreman bears his steel, tarantara, tarantara, in comfortable feel, tarantara. And we find the wisest thing, tarantara, tarantara, to slap our chest and sing, tarantara. For when threatened with the Mikado.